All right, so this is the 17th week for Finn. He just turned 17 weeks, and we missed 16 weeks. My daughter's a college softball player, and we went south to Florida to watch her play like in spring training, and so that was super fun. So we did take Finn to the boarding facility, and it's Happy Trails Hotel, and those guys are great down there. And I was a little worried because he's so young, but I took him a couple times ahead of time, kind of got him acclimated to the place. He loved it. They say it looked like he looked happy. And he got a lot of socialization with other dogs there. And anyhow, so I think it actually turned out to be a good thing. So, but since then, we've been doing just about everything every day. So for example, we've been doing fun obedience every day, heeling and sit and here. And we've been doing the kennel games where he comes and runs straight and goes over obstacles and gets rewarded for doing that. We've been doing casting to place boards. We've been doing the send away to place boards. We've been chasing tugs. We've been, let's see, what else? Just about everything we normally do, we're doing on an everyday basis. And so, yet to be clear, the focus is we finally got some reasonably nice weather, and so we've been doing a lot of outdoor marking and marking associated with the Dixie Cup drills. And I got to tell you, I'm a huge fan of the Dixie Cup drills. And what do I love so much about them is I'm going to show you today, we're introducing Finn to factors, and we're introducing him to marking concepts that he's going to see later in competition. So what we do best, we do early, or what we do early, we do best. And the other thing is, it's really built trust in the partnership and our communication. It's so, just like a blind retriever, he looks out, I say dead bird, and he's looking out, and that face is looking all over the place. And when he looks in the right spot, I say good. And then you can see him, he gets all intense, and he leans forward, and I'm like, good. And then he kind of leans in a little bit more. And our communication now, it's kind of evolved, but he's looking around, I say good once or twice, and then he starts locking in. And once he locks in, then I say right there. And then it's hilarious, because then he really leans forward, and then I send him. And it's been a good thing for that communication. And it's been a good thing for him to pick out long birds or long guns, ignoring short ones, and just doing all these things. So with no further ado, let me show you some of the setups that we've been running on a everyday basis. So one of the things we've definitely been doing is the indented triple situation. And so in the indented triple, this is Finn right here, by the way, and there's the line. And so you've got a close one, right? And that might be, let's say, 50 yards for us, right? And then we run one of those past, then these might be 100 yards, right? And so it's kind of funny. He knows the buckets mean food. And so if I got to space him out enough so that he doesn't cheat and he comes straight back. But, and the other thing, too, with these buckets, I'm no longer showing him that I'm putting the food on top, or I'm no longer taking him out and putting the food in front of him. He just sees the bucket. He trusts me that when I send him for that bucket that there's food there. So this first one is the indented one, so typically we'll go get this one first, right? And then it's how do we ignore that bucket and look long and look past that gun? We'd go get this one. He comes back, and I reward him for every comeback, and then we look long past this gun again. He goes and gets this one and comes back. And so indented triples, a really common marking setup in the future. We're seeing it, every week for sure. The other one that we're doing is what I call the punch bird. And so the punch bird is just the opposite. We've got the wide ones off the side, and then they've got to go get the long one. So he'll look here and he'll scan around, and I'll lock him in. Let's say we lock into this one, and he'll go get this one, comes back, he'll go get this one. And then the fun part has been in the beginning, he really had a hard time looking past these, but now he looks long, and then we'll send him. And what's long? This might be 150 yards, it might be 120 yards, kind of depending on the field and the scenario, but it's reasonably passes, so there's noticeable differences in them. So the indented triple, now this is the punch bird. The other ones that I've been doing too are just kind of what I would say really narrow setups, right? And so you'll see this where he's almost got to run right past it. And a lot of times what I'm doing in this situation too is I might throw, we'll use red for marks, I might throw like a mark here, and the marks I'm keeping relatively short, right? And we're just kind of setting these up, but I might throw a mark there and throw a mark here, and these might just be 20, 30-yard marks. So he'll go get the mark, right? So these disappear, and then Then we line him up for the blinds, and then he'll go get this one, which is past both the old falls. And then this one, he's got, again, past the old falls, but also past that white visible bucket, and he goes out there. That's been one of my favorite setups over the last little bit. Of course, I'm doing these setups in different places every day. So I have kind of like 4 to 5 places. You know, if I'm doing indented triples, I'll do an indented triple at each of those places. And then the next, I go back and I run the punch birds, and then I run these setups. One of the things that has been kind of fun too is the key relationship drill, right? And so I showed some video of that the other day, but when I have my wife available, that's what we do, right? So if my wife is here, right? Terrible drawing, you can see why I'm not an art professor, but she would throw like the mark here, and then when we have that, then we would run, we'd run something like that under the arc, right? So the dog would go, Finn would go get that, and maybe it's a 50-yard retrieve, and then under the arc, he's going to go get that one, and then on the back side of the gun, he's going to go get this one. And then also sometimes what we're doing is then we try to maybe put one over here, right? So he's got to go here, pick up the mark here, and then run on the back side. And sometimes we'll do this as kind of like a flower pot, right? So we do this side, and then other times we might have, something like that too. So we're kind of mixing it up every day, but we're trying to get that key relationship drill as well too. So, and then finally, one of my favorite things to do is one of my favorite things to do is just to have like we're walking in the woods, right? So every day I take them for a walk. I'm getting like 13,000 steps a day. And all of a sudden, like way out there in our middle of our walk, I'll preload it. So I walk out there ahead of time, and then I'll throw, a good mark here, and maybe another one here, and then he's got to go pick up the marks, and then run this one. And so it's almost like he's learning. Everywhere we go, we could be running some blinds through the Dixie Cup drills. And so, big fan. It's been working out really good, especially mixing the marks with the Dixie Cup drills. So, one of the other things that we're trying to teach with the Dixie Cup drills is to fight factors and run your long line through factors and ignore it, right? So I've done keyhole blinds where we're running through the Dixie Cup, and then I'll kind of have it where there's a point coming out, and then there might be a little undulation or a ditch that we got to go through. But one of the ones that we've been doing probably most lately is there's a hill, right? And so, do the Dixie Cup up the hill, right? You get to a hill and drive up that hill. But the one I'm about to show you is I got like a hill at about a 35-degree angle. It's pretty extreme. And we're teaching Finn to run on that hill and not go down, not fall down or not square it on the way up, but to hold his line. And a 35-degree angle hill is really tough. So I'm about to show you some video with that. And then we also show from the bottom to the top of, again, same concept of climb that hill kind of gradually, but on a straight line, not squaring top or not falling off the bottom. So, okay, let's go see those videos. Okay, so as we approach the hill, you can see it's a pretty extreme hill, and you can see out there about 40, 50 yards past us, there's the white bucket. He saw it instantly, so this is an easy one for us to line. So I'm going to send here in a second. There he goes. What he does really well is he holds a straight line the whole way. And again, that's about a 35-degree angle, which is pretty extreme. So I think when he gets later on, he'll be able to hold lines really good. I got a lot of food on this one, and so he knocks the food off, so it's a little bit longer. I probably need to go to just a hot dog or something, but I've been using his dog food. So you'll see when he comes back, he kind of falls down because it's so extreme, but then he fights it and comes back to a straight line, which I thought was really good. So I reward him, give him a little love. You see, one thing that I love about these is he loves it. So, all right, now we're starting at the bottom and angling our way to the top. And you can see at the top of the hill, there's the Dixie Cup drill. And we lock him in. Good. Right there. There we go. And then he goes, and he does a really nice job on this one. Not going up the hill, not falling down, but taking a direct straight line on a pretty extreme angle there. And again, he's eating his food, loving life. And now he's just about ready to come back. And of course, come on, Finn, where are you? There you go. So now he's coming back, but he takes a really nice straight line back, and that's our, we're teaching him to fight factors, and we're doing this, some sort of factor every day. There. So the key on that whole sit game is we're trying to get him ready for blind retrieves when he's running away from me, and we're practicing a fast, tight sit, and as soon as that butt hits the ground, he gets rewarded. And so when blind retrieves come, I'm hoping it'll go much smoother. There. Yes. Sit. Yes. Sit. Yes. Sit. Yes. Come on, dude. Sit. Yes. Sit. Yes. That's the sit game, right?